jealous? Are you just 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 jealous? Cause we're the VG boys.
Yeah.
Are you just jealous? 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 Cause we're the VG boys.
Oh, yeah. What up, what up? Doing a little new formatting as always.
Yes, indeed. Trying new stuff.
Oh, man.
Can't pin us down. We got new tricks.
New tricks up the sleeve. I have no sleeve.
I
Baby
rolled
sleeves.
up my sleeves.
Baby sleeves.
Rolled up the sleeves to drop all the tricks out, you know.
So what we're doing for the podcast this week is we're going to talk about what I found interesting is PlayStation is now doing a like a Nintendo Direct version.
Yeah, that was an interesting announcement.
Where they're not going to be at E3, right?
They already, they did announce that they like there's like the first time. I mean, I don't know. I've seen reports of like in all the years of E3 history, this is the first time Sony didn't go. But I don't know. I didn't look up.
Yeah,
that.
But
Sony.
Obviously they're not going now because they think there's more value in bringing their information directly to the consumer or the gamer, or however you want to say it.
It may have also been a matter that like last year, like instead of like just unloading everything at once, they probably don't have that many things to show right now, like at that event, like to be ready. So it's easier to just stream it out, I guess, when they want, like little bits, like Nintendo's been doing. I mean, the Nintendo
Itty-bitty
Directs
bits
have been pretty awesome when they were releasing. So,
dude, Nintendo Direct is on point, man. You watch those things, you basically get what you come for, and they give you all the information about the games you want to see.
Did you see the April Fool's Days one?
No. What is it?
It was really hit you right in the feels.
In the feels? What was it?
Because the guy's like coming out where he's like, "Oh, we're bringing everything to the Switch," and they just start announcing like every Zelda title ever.
Oh,
and it was
okay.
like watch like Wind Waker and all this stuff, and they're like, "We're saying we're bringing everything," and they start flashing all these different games like Mass Effect and all the stuff, and I was like, "What?" And then like they keep going, and then like the guy gets more manic as it goes, and it starts like doing like weird things like Microsoft tiles and stuff, and it was like, "Oh, this."
So who put it out?
I forget the guy. It wasn't because Reggie just retired, and
Reggie,
Bowser.
That's right. He
over.
did retire. Yeah.
Bowser has taken over. How funny is that?
I don't.
That's
like real,
Doug
right?
Bowser. Yeah, that's his like last name. It's hilarious.
How could that possibly be?
I don't know.
Has he been with the company that long?
Don't know. I don't like. Is this a real name? Was this like a video game related last name change or?
It's unreal.
I don't know, but I just love it that Reggie's been the successor to Reggie is Bowser. So Bowser now runs
it's
Nintendo.
Incredible.
It seems like a weird alternate universe thing because like how are they not using Bowser graphics on this guy?
Yeah, man. I don't know.
But anyway, what we were just talking about is how like the Nintendo Direct has been doing a very good job with those things, yeah, April Fool's Day was terrible.
April Fools. I hate April Fools, man.
Yeah.
It's gotten to such a stupid like climax right now because of social media and like the ability for so many people to just broadcast stupid stuff. Everyone assumes a lot of stuff is April Fools, but some of it's legit and you can't determine.
You gotta be very careful on April Fool's Day what you're reading and stuff. Like anything can come out and it's like, oh, what is this? Is this real? Can I watch the news right now? Is this some nonsense? Some BS? BS for all?
Yeah,
you get to be fooled, and you get to be fooled.
I don't know.
Mr. T
I don't
was,
like it. I think it's
fools
dumb
off.
and childish, but that's my opinion. But let's talk about the state of play a little bit.
Yeah, man.
Interesting stuff. They're basically taking Nintendo's brilliant idea and, bringing their up-and-coming information right to you directly. And they haven't done it well yet.
Yeah, I know a lot of people have been complaining because I think did they do one prior to March 25th?
They did one, and it was over in like 2 seconds, and everyone was like,
okay,
what am I watching?
I mean, the March 25th one was like 19 minutes long, something like that, and they showed like some games, like MK11, I think is like what ended it, and they showed a few other things. So, I mean, it's basically what if you watch any Nintendo Directs, you're pretty much getting the state of play idea, but I think it's fine,
I think it'll get better.
Yeah.
But if they're not going to show up to E3, it better get better in a hurry. You know what I mean?
But I think that was announced like very early, like after the last E3 that Sony was not coming. So it's kind of like it was very like odd that they did that so early because it wasn't like a recent announcement like that. I remember that being the case. And it was like, oh, I guess they got nothing to show, or they don't want to show all their cards yet at that time, or maybe this was in the works. Like maybe they were like looking at all the Nintendo Direct stuff and having some internal.
True, I guess.
meetings.
I mean, I don't know. If it's me and I was Sony, I'd want to come out with a bang a little bit.
Oh, of course.
And present something that's more interesting to the viewers, but they did okay. I didn't see anything where I was like, wow, that was awesome.
Amazing.
But I think it's a good idea.
Software.
I think it's smarter for these companies to... I mean, they already have fans, right? I mean, the console wars still exist, and, you know, PC has rolled into that somehow, you know, PC Master Race, but I don't know, man. I just felt like they could have executed it a little better.
Okay.
But I do like the concept. I think it's a good idea. I think other companies are going to follow suit. I don't know what's going to happen to Xbox, man. I'm getting nervous.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. They,
you know?
They have like the most powerful console on the planet right now.
I mean,
but
it was.
It's essentially a PC that's a console. No, it still is. Like right now, that is the like Xbox One X.
Console, of course,
is the most powerful one, but
it is.
They don't have
there's no support.
They don't have anything I want to play right now.
There's no games. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Considering they've just announced the PlayStation 5, I guess they're gonna have to release something to beat it.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm hearing something that they're Microsoft is like gonna be doing like a dual system, like an entry level intro, and then they have weird code names right now. I doubt they're going to be the actual like the Scorpion, right? Was the original for the Xbox One X and stuff, but they have two other code names that they're using right now. But I don't know. I'm not really sure. I imagine I don't know. Are they going to start doing their own little state of play or whatever inside Microsoft?
Who, Xbox?
Well, yeah, like Microsoft will be the...
I'm surprised they haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
I mean, they give you everything through Xbox Live. If memory serves, everything is right in your face there, so that's their delivery system. I think people still like, especially for titles they're excited about, I think people still like to be hyped up.
Absolutely.
People want to see videos of gameplay, and they want explanations from all the Sony people and all the Nintendo people. They want to hear from the creators themselves and the devs and all this stuff. So what I think is going to be interesting is I think developers of games are going, if Sony and Xbox get a little bit smart, in my opinion, I think they're going to let the developers work with them in showing more making of stuff, more updates directly from devs. I mean, you get that stuff in games, but I think presentation-wise, I think it's going to be kicked up a notch once this next console generation comes out. And another thing I wanted to talk about in terms of this next console generation, I mean, obviously everyone heard about the PS5 leaked information. Basically, it's going to be an 8-core AMD processor, which is going to be super fast. It's going to be able to, basically it's going to have an SSD. Everything's going to be super fast, and it's the next level supposedly of gaming. So you have 8K. Their 8K support they're promising, which is it's exciting that they can do it.
Yeah, I know.
But how exciting is it going to be? How many people are going to have 8K support TVs? How expensive are they going to be? I know 4K TVs are reasonably cheap. You can pick up one for a couple $100. I mean, that should be within a lot of people's range who are investing in this type of stuff anyway. But 8K support, is it even out yet? Do they have 8K TVs?
I don't know. I haven't seen. I mean, I've gone into Best Buy. I feel like I haven't seen that. Like they have like really high end 4K stuff. But I guess it's meant to just show that they're thinking of the future. So when that stuff releases, it's not like how when the PlayStation 4 released, there was no 4K, and it took the Pro to come out, and even the Pro is not quite doing it as good as like the Xbox One.
No, it's not true 4K, and that's the difference between the Xbox.
You get that HDR, which it's workable, but it's just not. What if anyone that's like a high end person is gonna tout the Xbox One X as being the best, and I can't blame them for that. Like that's absolutely true.
Well, check this out. Here's my thing too.
Okay.
8K support, right? Next level. I can't even fathom what 8K looks like. I mean, I see 4K and I'm blown away. Just like we did back in the day when, back in the day when all of a sudden you have 1080p on live TV broadcasts. I'm watching sports and stuff. Oh, yeah, and all of a sudden my mind was blown. I'm like, oh my God, this is clearer than real life. Meanwhile, that was 1080p. If we're lucky. It was probably 1080i, honestly, because that's the technology that the cable companies had. But my point is when you start playing these games, you better hope that there's enough internet support to transfer an 8K broadcast. You know, all these streamers and whatnot on Twitch, on Mixer. How are you going to play a multiplayer game that's in 8K, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I can't fathom, you know, we're
some,
not there yet
yeah,
in
I've seen
terms of
some
the internet
workarounds.
speed that people have. People have problems streaming 1080p.
Yeah, I know.
There's buffering.
Well, as far as streaming, yeah, but I know like if you have like the 4K with the current Elgato setup, you can't use your HDR stuff. Like it like the
Exactly
output
right.
only goes to the 1080.
Yeah, directly to the TV.
I believe I can't remember what the company is now that they just released something that is on par with the cost. I think it might be a little bit more expensive now than the Elgato. I think they dropped their prices in lieu of this coming out.
All right.
But that one has a workaround that will actually let you stream and view your game in like the 4K.
Oh, is that right? With HDR?
You still can't stream in 4K, so there's nothing. But if you're recording, like, you know, doing your thing, at least you'll be able to play that way. I've heard good things about it. The name of it's escaped me.
Yeah,
right
I mean,
now.
I stream casually too on Twitch, and I basically output to 720.
Right.
You know, because it's the most stable, and people have crappy internet connections depending upon where they live. So just
right
to have the most access, I output to 720. I've done 1080p before. I'm not partnered, so I don't have the capability to really do true 1080p. But I couldn't imagine the support that even 4K would need, let alone 8K, right?
Yeah, it's got to be up there, and I'm sure it'll only be like some of the top people getting it at first. Like they'll roll it out when it's even available, because right now, again, no one's doing 4K, so it doesn't make a difference.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, when is this going to come out? They're assuming what, fourth quarter or third quarter? Well, probably fourth quarter 2020.
I heard, yeah, just not 2019 as for the
I
PS5.
knew it was going to be
saying?
2019, yeah. Right? I mean, that's what they said.
Yeah.
What else do they say there's going to be on this PS5? I like this, the high-end SSD storage off the bat.
You need
that's
absolutely.
That's necessary, and it's going to be necessary for the high-resolution issues. My favorite thing, dude, we haven't mentioned it yet, backwards compatibility.
Oh, it's amazing.
For PS4.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know.
Granted, I imagine like because the way it was always described was that the jump from PS2 to PS3 was very drastic. Like you're able to get all your game. I mean, PlayStation 1 you can kind of get now on the store, I believe, but PS2 for whatever reason, the way that system ran and like the way it I guess emulated its software, you couldn't like jump that way. So,
but like, look what happened with Microsoft with the Xbox backwards compatibility.
Absolutely.
You got to wait for games to trickle out. I mean, they had the big release of the ability to play your original Xbox 360 games.
True.
Or even maybe a couple of original Xbox games.
Yeah, a couple of the
But it was like a long,
360,
drawn-out process. You gotta wait. I mean, we
and then
live
even then, some
in
of
a
your
time
favorites
now, man,
just
with
never
this,
came out, right?
there's people don't want to wait.
No, of course not.
You know, people don't want to wait online at the bank. They're gonna wait for all these releases of older games. Like, listen, backwards compatibility. If it's true and they really do it, it's gonna be amazing because my PS4 collection already is significant.
It's pretty huge now.
So
yeah.
imagine the ability to just pop those in, play those, and maybe with HDR capability, maybe 4K, whatever for those games that are upgraded for that. But that's good stuff, man.
Well, how about they're gonna have a disk drive for physical media support?
Well, yeah, that's a whole nother topic.
Oh my God,
I get into
I
it
know.
with people on Twitter about that. There's arguments
Not
where
even
people
just
are going,
everywhere.
Obviously, dude. Obviously, the gaming scene and the industry itself is going towards an all digital presentation.
We do have friends I know that have spoken as far as I don't own discs I played on because it's I mean they're Xbox One X users of course, but they prefer being able to just not pop in discs. And I get it. My fiance has said the same thing. She likes the downloads on the Switch because popping in discs is a pain in the butt. But it's you don't understand. You are locking that game to yourself. You can't I can't lend you my game. The days of handing a disc over. And granted, I guess everyone gets their own stuff now.
There's the digital sharing though.
I mean, yes,
you can share your games digitally on
there
PlayStation.
that,
I know for sure on PSN.
Also, I mean, granted, I guess the hard drive space is getting better, but I was you have to download gigs and gigs of games to put it on there, and then now to be able to put on another system. I don't know. It just seems like you're adding all this stuff on, and then the big issue that we have is look what just happened. The Nintendo store just turned off the Wii related thing. The Wii
Oh,
U,
a few
that's completely
things.
gone.
Wii U.
There's no online support. So if you're
And
like
DS,
they say,
I think.
oh, you
No more
it.
DS games.
Right. But if you bought it and you own this thing, and then they're like, oh, but you can always play it on your system. What if the hard drive on that fails or the battery fails?
You got to
And now
re-download.
you can't. But you can't. Like the store is physically not there anymore.
Oh, now, yeah.
So, but that's what I'm getting.
But that
at.
was
That's,
my argument.
That's
yeah.
where this whole thing comes into.
That's
where,
why I'm fighting. That's why I'm pro physical games, because is it true that you need updates through the system and whatever? As long as you can play a bare bones game,
right,
without a well, here's the catch, right? The required internet connection.
Oh yeah,
right?
That's big. Yeah.
So if the service itself goes down, you would think even the physical games will be rendered either screwy, or some of them might work, some of them might not. That's why Steam always promotes the DRM free. In other words, you don't need an internet connection to play the game, right?
It's very big.
So that's important. If PlayStation or Sony, I guess, if Sony and Microsoft are smart enough to allow you to actually have that capability, I think that's important to recognize, because listen, once you start doing all these digital games, even if your hard drive of your hardware is good, there's still the possibility of, you not being able to play the games that you physically purchased.
Right.
People are hitting me up on Twitter saying, well, everything's going all digital. Why do you need, you're not going to have a game for your whole life anyway. What's the difference? I'm like, what are you talking about? I still have Nintendo games. I have SNES games.
You know what? I pop that
and it
in,
works.
blow in the cartridge,
plug
and
it
it's
in,
ready to go.
Dude, that's it. That's important too.
Yeah.
I mean, why does that matter to people? It matters to me because I can pass that down to my kids, right? I can play it with my kids, but
Yep, very true.
if I'm done with it and I want them to have it, or my grandkids in the future to have it, why the heck not? How many games are going to be rendered, just unusable, right? Like a library's worth. And people are saying, "Oh, these companies are huge. That would never happen." Or when it does happen, you're not going to care.
There was an article that just came out. I don't know how true this necessarily is, but it was something where someone was, I guess, using some like very racial slur related language, like basically. Just
I heard this. Yeah.
Breaking the rules of.
Yeah, this guy was like a white supremacist and an openly racist dude, and he's saying openly racist things
on
over.
on
PlayStation.
Yeah,
PSN.
Online. So he got banned
in-game,
or temporary banned, I should say, for a bit, and he was showing that he couldn't access his digital library. And granted, yes, this guy is like a piece of garbage if he's doing all these things.
Of course, dude. I mean,
time,
you don't want this guy playing on the internet.
But at the same time, like, what is to stop Sony from doing
That's
that
the conversation
to
it
other people?
brings
Like,
up.
they can just say you've broken these things. And how many times have we've come up with things, or not come up, but I've like read so many things where someone's either getting banned and it's like unfair representation of themselves or whatever happened and like no recourse. And then suddenly now you paid for all these things that's digital.
And you're locked out.
And then you're locked out. Like that's, like I said, I don't want to defend people for being horrible.
Oh, no.
But at the same time, like, it's one of those things where it's like, like I'll, what's good for someone else is good for you as well. Like, I can't be locked out of my game.
It takes away your freedom to play what you want and play the things that you paid money for. That's my big problem.
I agree.
If I paid money for it, right? Let's say I don't make a lot of money and I make whatever a year and I buy maybe, 2-3 games a year, right? If I'm that guy and I invest my extra money to play those games and purchase those games and play them forever, and all of a sudden, let's say PSN goes down in 2 years and now my games are gone.
Yeah, you're just done. That's it. And again, like, or your hard drive, you're trying to swap it out and it crashes or things get wiped and now you don't have your thing. And the online doesn't have it anymore. It's the same thing. Like, you're gonna just not have these things, and you paid all this money.
It's just like, disrespectful to me, to your fans, your customers. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I have been reading that this next, I guess, batch of newer consoles will be the last of like things with disk drives.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing.
So,
we'll see.
They're going digital. I'm not a fan.
We'll see. Is there going to be an infinite
media.
server with a cloud for the next 40 years? I don't know.
How many times have we gotten in on like the limited run stuff. Like obviously it's hard to get some of these things because they sell out so quick, but that's because there's a demand for it. Like even if it's
that's the whole idea, limited, right?
Yeah, but it's like you want a physical copy of a game that normally is just like a digital, like an indie release.
Well, that's why they're doing what they're doing, obviously to make money, but also to do something they love and to preserve. To me, it's an art form. You know, having manuals and physical, artwork.
Or just, again, a physical title that you can pop in that's now forever yours to use, kind of,
Yeah, man, I don't know. No good.
Yeah.
I don't like the whole thing. I'm kind of sensitive about it because, to me, if you pay for something, we're not buying a sandwich here, right? So if you buy a DVD,
a delicious
it'll
sandwich.
It'll obviously be obsolete at some point. But what if you like it? Like, you paid money for it. Why should the ability for you to watch that movie be taken away? That's all we're saying. That's all I'm saying.
Sesame seeds in that bun and that sandwich.
Sesame seeds on that bun.
A delicious sandwich.
I don't know. Irritating. But yeah, man, I was supposedly going back to the PS5, right? They said it has ray tracing support, right?
Ray.
With AMD, Navi,
you put
GPU,
Ray up there,
whatever.
It traces a little silhouette of him.
But, well, supposedly that's the new technology in GPUs that I don't even know what ray tracing. You know what ray tracing does?
No, I have no idea. I assumed it
Sounds
was
good.
Ghostbusters related.
It sounds good, but either way, it's a feature of the PS5, supposedly.
Hey, yo, Ray.
Yo, Ray, trace me. Physical media support. It's so important, man. But
yeah.
I'll tell you what. I'm not going to repeat everything I said about backwards compatibility, but that is so clutch.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. I always like seeing that, I feel, at this point, because it just lets you bring your older media into the future. Because it's
encouraging the activity, right? I mean, even...
Now, whether or not it's going to up it, like how the PS Pro was able to, like, upgrade a lot of the older games that came out, like make them a little bit nicer looking, I don't necessarily that's going to happen, but just being able to physically play them on a system instead of like breaking out your PS4 and having all these things. So people that don't want to have a million systems in their house, I can understand just wanting to have your one PS5 and having the library. So I think it's a good, obviously, we're in support.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
Of the backwards compatibility.
So this Death Stranding game, right?
Yeah.
What's the dude from
Norman Reedus?
Not Norman Reedus.
Norman
I know
Reedus.
He's starring in it.
Hideo Kojima.
Yeah. So he's creating this game, right? We heard about it when last E3, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I guess
they did that big trailer for it, the big teaser trailer.
Was it before that too? Was it the E3 before
Maybe
that as a teaser?
2 years ago.
I feel like it's been. I could be mistaken. I
thought it was last year. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you're right. Whatever it is.
Video last E3 for sure, but I think this was like a teased the E3 prior to that.
Now,
like him.
Did they ever drop any hints as to when this is supposed to release? Because this may end up being a PS5 release at this point.
I mean, it could be. I mean, you saw how what the heck was that? The last Metal Gear that came out where they like took his name off. Was it Phantom Pain? Like that game was in development for like a decade almost. It seemed like he was.
Well, they took his name off because he had nothing to do with it. I guess.
No. It was a
licensing thing.
That was a Konami thing. It wasn't even a licensing thing. They kind of just like gave him the big middle finger. Like they took him off. They restructured in their company. It was a whole thing. Like if you want to look into some interesting stuff, like definitely check that story out because they did not leave on good terms. So this is like the next big game because he was going to come out. They were going to do another Silent Hill. They were going to do that other wacky game that. They actually took off the store. I forget what the heck it was. It was some like crazy horror, like in a mansion kind of thing that they were
off what
for.
Steam or
off,
PS?
No, off the PlayStation store.
Okay.
So there's people like selling their PlayStations with this demo, a demo of like a game that they just deleted because it was that amazing. People like redoing it. I can't recall the title though, but yeah. So Death Stranding.
Dude, another rumored game that's going to come out for PS5 is like an early release is for Horizon Zero Dawn 2.
I really got to beat that game.
Dude, I bought it for like $10 with all the DLC and whatnot. I got to install it. I got to hit that up.
I had the original game. So
it's one player only, yeah?
Yeah, it's only one player. But it's still, it's outstanding. But it's one of those things where it came out right before Breath of the Wild came out. And then, like, jumping back into that, it was like, where's your jump button?
I remember, yeah. Breath of the Wild just stepped on its neck, and I heard this game was just fantastic.
And there was nothing wrong with it. I felt terrible, but that's just the way things are. Like, I have, games that, like, that we're going to be playing now.
Yeah, you have a certain nostalgia that just sucks you back. Like, the Resident Evil 2 sucked me into. Just because I remember the old school one, it was fantastic, and the new one's fantastic.
Plus, I knew it was, like, not a tremendously huge game that you could, like, beat within, like, a reasonable enough time, I feel like. Like these other games, you're sinking in so many hours to like the whole.
Dude, yeah, I just bought. What did I buy? Trails of Cold Steel.
Oh yeah, how's that?
That released for PS4. I streamed it. I played for like maybe 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of story, a lot of like
animations.
Yeah, I mean, what's the word I'm searching for? I mean, a lot of like
holding you by
cinematics,
the hand.
I guess.
Yeah, I was gonna say holding you by the hand storytelling. Come along on this little journey, but I want to play. No, we're gonna watch a whole bunch of stuff for a little while.
Yeah, dude, you go to this school. Obviously, some people played the game, but you go to this school and you're in an initiation of this special group who is extra talented and whatever else, and they put them through the gauntlet, right? They have them go through this dungeon, and I played for 2 hours, and I got out of the dungeon, and that's where I stopped the stream. I was like, I just did the, like the tutorial, essentially, the 2-hour tutorial.
Welcome, here's the world now.
So I'm thinking to myself, I'm like,
get yourself
damn,
killed.
how long could this game possibly be? So I literally Googled it, and the game is like something I don't know. It's up there.
100-something hours, something insane.
I think it's like 90 something.
Oh Jesus,
I think.
Much. That's too much.
I was like, that's fine. I'll finish that when I'm in my 40s.
Can you skip the cutscenes? Do they allow?
I think they allow it. Even in the battles, dude, you can skip animations.
Oh, okay.
So like it's a turn-based game. So
okay.
And you fight like up to 10, 12, 15 enemies at a time, and they all take turns hitting you. So you can literally keep mashing, options button, and it just keeps skipping their animation. I don't know. Some of them are short enough where I'll watch them. But point being is that it's a long-ass game, man. I felt like I didn't even do anything or get anywhere.
Yeah.
But you do get a lot of backstory of the characters. It was pretty cool.
That's good. Yeah, Karen's playing FF10 right now, the remaster for the Switch.
FF10, really?
And yeah, they did like
they did a remaster for the Switch?
Yeah, for the Switch.
Was it released before?
No, this is like it was out for the PS2. And I don't know, they may have put it on Steam before, but this is for the Switch, and it's one
so it's like
an
HD remaster
that has both games, which is
crazy.
Because it's a PS2 game. And
they didn't remake it, right?
No, it's just remastered, so it's better graphics.
Yeah,
I think they redid the soundtrack.
Games,
but
people are going nuts.
The biggest complaint is that game is so heavy with the cutscenes, dude. Like it's a great story, but way too much. Like she just turned it on, and I think she was like, I was playing maybe 20 minutes of the past 2 hours. And that's not an exaggeration. Like she
was being dragged along. That's exactly how.
And that's everyone's complaint. Like I think 10-2, you're able to skip it, but like they did not give you a skip cutscene. Like, dude, this is a game that's already been out. Why wouldn't you let
force
you do that? Yeah, you have to watch it.
No,
you're just stuck watching it, and it's like hours.
Listen, if you're playing it for the first time, all good.
Right, but not, even then, like let's just say you're like, all right, I get it. Like let's go on here. Or like you're redoing the game, like you want to try and get like a perfect game or something like that. No, you're stuck watching these things, and that's a huge error. I hope they update that and let you skip, because damn,
Risky Yodo. Yeah, man, I'm excited about this PS5 business.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good announcement. Hopefully, we'll be hearing more. They certainly have plenty of time because it's not. And I'm glad that like
Microsoft's going to come in and slam dunk on them.
I think it's going to be a little bit of time before they do that, because I feel like the Xbox One X just came out not too long ago. That like they're in
but that's what I'm
for
saying.
Sure,
like the 8K business, we're barely through 4K.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they got time. And again, I'm glad. Like I don't want to jump right into spending a couple $100s for a new system. Like I'm enjoying what I got. My Switch is doing great. I got my Pro. Again, Xbox you're not impressing me right now. I know there's a lot of people that are, it's the best.
Xbox getting no love.
Everything
you're
that you have,
Xbox people
PS
listening to this like growling.
Yeah, it is. It is very.
How dare they insult my ex?
Sorry, everybody. If you're an Xbox fan, don't get upset.
I'm not
this is just our opinion.
Sides. I've had many Xbox.
We loved our 360.
Xbox 360 is one of my favorite systems ever.
Agreed.
It's just that the one didn't live up to the hype, unfortunately. The library of games was just not there.
We'll see if they make a return in the next one.
I hope so. Listen, it'll be better for the gamers.
I bought one when the system was dead just to play Last of Us, and then they announced they were doing a remake, and it was like, well, I'm not playing this again.
Unreal, dude. Anyway, all right, guys, listen. We talked about a lot of PS5.
Yeah.
A lot of new stuff. I'm glad that they're doing the state of play thing.
Yeah. And I love checking.
They just got to kick it up. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I don't think it's that difficult to.
I think. I think once they have stuff to talk about, they will. Like it was very polished, but I feel like they can do a little bit more, because Nintendo's very like homey, where you have the like whoever the person that's speaking directly to you, so you have like those little interludes between games and stuff. Like if they do it a little bit more like that, because E3 you had like the president for a little while talking between stuff. Like they need to do stuff like that to engage you a little bit more. Like bring it down to
This is the state of play.
But I think they'll get their idea soon. Get it done. Get her done.
They'll whip it up, man. Well, listen, thanks for joining us. Listen, I Twitch now occasionally on I stream on Twitch occasionally. You can find me at Macula1984. So it's like Dracula with an M.
Yep, and I usually use the VG Boys channel.
We do have a VG Boys channel, and he uses that, and we use it together when we're streaming.
Yep,
you know,
which
in the
we
same
got
room.
some stuff. Like I think we just picked up. I just got World War Z, which we're gonna be trying out pretty soon.
Yeah, dude, I can't wait. I gotta pick it up too.
And
little Divinity 2.
Divinity 2, which
Yeah,
I know we're a little late to the party on that one, but
oh yeah, so am I. That's okay. I want to pick it up
for
PS4 though.
But yeah, check us out on. I mean, we haven't been doing too much on Instagram, but we're gonna try and pick that up again because I don't know, just they've redone some things. So
they changed the algorithms.
Yeah, I
like Twitter better anyway.
I mean, Twitter is fantastic, but you know, obviously the podcast is all over the place. So obviously, thank you for joining us if you're watching us on YouTube for the vidcast.
Absolutely.
Or you know, Spotify, iTunes, and
I'm glad we could squeeze in one last one in April.
Oh yes. It was getting a little.
The weather's turning around. It's springtime.
Oh my God,
lots to be excited about.
And time to get super hot with the the warm weather.
Sweaty. All right, guys. Most of all, really though, don't be jealous.
Peace.